Welcome back to another segment of WKCTC Basketball Weekly. Again, and always, I'm assistant coach Josh Kimbler here with the head coach of the Stars, Daniel Potts. Here recently, due to inclement weather, we have not had any games and actually haven't practiced in how many days?
It's been about 4 days now, 3 or 4 days.
It's killing me.
Me too. Right. I was trying to have practice yesterday, but Josh telling me all the sleet and stuff was coming in.
I'm going to be honest, Coach, I was nervous. I was nervous about it. We have a couple different things going on today. Later in the show, head cheerleading coach Sarita Robinson is going to join us on set. But as for now, Coach, all the time we talk about opportunities, and you come in, and that's kind of what we try to sell here. You come in, hard work, dedication, belief. You come in, you work hard for 1 year, you get your grades up, and we try to get you out of here and get you on to bigger and better things as far as basketball opportunity. We got a couple kids that are actually involved in that process right now.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. With this little bit of inclement weather, we've had the opportunity to take some of our players right now to different four-year universities and get their names out and make highlight tapes. That's what I've been doing for probably about the last month, is making highlight tapes of Cody and Jacob and Marcus and even Chris for our sophomores to have an opportunity to go somewhere and play.
Right.
And right now, Cody Schultz is getting looked at by Lyon College. Coach Tapp up there in Arkansas. They have a great program going up there. You probably know that college sounds familiar because they're in Mid-Continents up the road. They're in their division and things like that. Coach Tapp's done a great job up there and really likes Cody Schultz and likes his highlight tapes that we've put together and Cody's game. And what really helps Cody out as well is, besides having almost 19 points a game and 5 assists, Cody's averaging, his GPA is about 3.5, 3.6 range, and that opens up a lot of eyes, that he can do it on the court as well as in the classroom. And Berea College is also looking at Cody Schultz. Coach Hemingway has done a great job up there, and they're in the kayak. That's with Brescia University and a couple of those teams in Kentucky. Alice Lloyd done a phenomenal job up there, and he really likes Cody Schultz. Yeah. And I think Cody,
as well he should.
I agree. That's a school which has a lot of academics and things like that that goes along with it, and Mid-Continent also likes Cody, and he's gotten some money offers from all three of those teams right there. But like you said, the opportunity of coming here and playing a year, and Cody, coming out of high school, probably didn't get that opportunity, I don't know if it was a lack of film or lack of, getting his name out.
Right.
But,
that's a great point.
Yeah, he comes here for a year, and we came for 2 years, really matured his body even, his footwork, his defense, his consistent shooting, and as well as getting an associate's.
Yeah.
Coming here and graduating and getting an associate's, and his as far as playing college basketball in the future, looks great for Cody Schultz right now. He's really come along, especially from last year to this year.
Yeah, I try to tell kids that all the time, and even some of the kids that we've been going out and trying to recruit that we're kind of interested in. I mean, and even their parents as well, which a lot of people don't understand that. There's a heck of a difference between your body maturing from 17 to 18, and then from 18 to 19, possibly 19 to 20.
Agreed.
I mean, Marcus Burnett, for example, last year he still had a lot of, and I think it's safe to say, call it baby fat on him. And his body's come so much farther. That's even without him being in the weight room for a year and actually having a true weight room type off season. He's come so far, and a lot of kids don't understand that. Some of these kids that do get looks, and they take the littler schools, like us, for example. You come here a year, you still get 4 years eligibility. They look at that as in, that's just West Kentucky Tech. I'd rather go here. What they don't understand is a lot of times, and this from being at Lindsey Wilson.
Yeah.
They get a scholarship, everything's great, but they might not play till they're a junior or senior.
All correct. And a little bit to go with what you just said, in the off season, a lot of the high school basketball players play AAU ball.
Right.
They're not getting the one-on-one fundamentals and off-season workouts that they need.
AAU ball is overrated.
I agree too, and that's what Cody did. Cody, Chris, and Jacob all worked out with me, and Marcus came in and worked out in the off season with us, and they have just gotten tremendously better.
Unbelievable.
Jacob's getting he might have the opportunity. I've talked to Coach Campbell at Austin Peay State, a Division I school. He might have the opportunity to walk on even at a Division I school. and that's big for our program in general. I've never had a Division I, or had a player come to me to go to a Division I school.
Right.
You get looked at from there, get looked at from Brescia. Jacob's kind of wanting to stay around home, but kind of towards the Webster County area, and Austin Peay's in Clarksville, and Brescia's in Owensboro, so it'd be a great close drive for him. And he's getting a lot of numerous offers as well. I mean, Jacob, we've talked about the whole year, all year long. He's probably one of the best offensive players that I've ever coached. I mean, best shooter by far I've ever coached. And that's saying a lot because I've had, Tanner Wilson played for me, and Tanner was a knockdown shooter. Ryan Cleffer was a great shooter for me in a couple of years of the past. But, and also our big boy Marcus. Yeah. Unfortunately, we'll probably only get him for a year. But 6'9", 260, man, he's matured into a great player, averaging 17 points a game and nearly 12 rebounds. We got the opportunity to go down to a UT Martin game. Coach James and UT Martin has got that program on the rise. I know they've been faded off the last couple of years, but Coach James we got to meet Coach James after that game, and he got to meet Marcus as well. But just talk to him about basketball knowledge and just having communication with Coach James back and forth.
Yeah, I think Marcus liked it because he's seen how similar that Coach James is with us.
Yeah. Marcus looked at us after we talked to Coach James for about 25 minutes, and he looked at us and said, "Coach, you all say the exact same things in practice."
Made us feel good.
Yeah, it did. It made us feel pretty good that we're teaching the right things and what for and what not. But Marcus is, he's looking at Murray too. We're trying to get him an opportunity at Murray. I really think he can play at some Division I schools, especially in the OVC. Yeah. And I believe he's going to get that opportunity too. And he might not have got that opportunity out of high school. Going back to that. We do a lot with our players, currently players. Getting their highlights out, getting their names out, making phone calls to whoever that Marcus or Jacob or Cody are interested in. We want to sit down. We usually sit down with them one-on-one. Say, hey, let's look at these schools. Let's pick a handful of schools. Let's look at them. Give me 3 majors, and see what schools, have your major and have what you want. And, that's another way that we just have a close bond and things like that too, But we care about our players here. Yeah. We definitely care about our players, and I believe that's going to show, when these kids are going to play at D1 universities and NAIA and getting the opportunity, to play farther than just the junior college level.
And they all deserve it. They've put in a lot of hard work.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
When we come back to the show, we're going to have our head cheerleading coach, Sarita Robinson, here on set with us. You're watching WKCTC Basketball Weekly. Welcome back to WKCTC Basketball Weekly. As promised before, we are here with head cheerleading coach Sarita Robinson. Sarita, nice to have you on the show.
Thank you. Am I the first girl on the show?
Yes, I think you are. As a matter of fact. We're going to have a couple questions for Sarita. Maybe you can get to know her a little more out there. First off, how much experience have you had with cheerleading before joining West Kentucky Community and Technical College?
Honestly, as bad as it sounds, I didn't have much experience with cheerleading. I always was a basketball player. I played basketball.
I like you better already.
from 4th grade through my senior year in high school. So I never was a cheerleader, but when they called me and asked me to step into this role, it sounded fun and I was interested. So I said yes.
And you get to be around basketball.
Right, and I love basketball. So.
Right. Okay. I'm going to stream a little bit off this based upon what you just said. What position did you play?
I was a shooting guard.
Really?
Yeah.
Could you shoot as good as Cody?
I haven't played Cody and Horse yet, but I have played some of the guys. I won't say who, and I've won.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. We need to talk about this later so I can give them heck about it. Okay. Next question coming up. Explain how having such a welcoming response helped you adjust here.
It helped a lot. Like I said, I was nervous coming in. I didn't have any experience. I didn't know how the team would react to that, but they've been so welcoming and so patient with me. There were a few things I had to learn, but I think I've picked up on it, and they've helped me tremendously.
Who in particular?
Definitely my cheer captain, Kaylee Palmer.
Okay.
She, I know there's probably been times she's wanted to strangle me because I'll probably ask a stupid question or want to change something. I kind of came in after everything was already set up, so I didn't have the opportunity to change things this season. So I know there's sometimes she probably's wanted to say some stuff to me, but I mean, we work well together and she's taught me more than I could even ask for. So. Okay. What has been the biggest challenge for you in taking on this role? I think that would be coming in so late. I started a month before our first game, so I didn't really have time to learn the role and plan things out. So I was trying to learn my new role as well as perform in that role. So that was probably the biggest challenge, but I think I'm learning.
Okay, that's good. Actually, I have 2 more questions. The last one's going to be a surprise. Okay. Even though you weren't here last year, looking at in terms of growth as far as our campus and just community involvement, have you seen? Do you think that that's been positive, negative as far as like attendance, stuff like that? Have you seen it grow?
Yeah, I've seen it grow even since I've been here this season. I know we sat down, me, you, and Daniel at the beginning of the season, and we said, how can we get more exposure? That's kind of been our focus all season.
Right.
And I know all of us have driven around putting our posters up in all the businesses around town, and we go to the library. We take the kids to do story time down there, and we've done radio.
I remember Jacob Scott went with you one time. Okay.
Yeah, he was dancing and everything.
Right,
the kids
right,
loved him. So we've done that. We've done some radio interviews, and I think it's having a positive impact, and I'm seeing more people come. But I mean, these kids work hard. The people need to come watch them. They won't be disappointed, for sure.
What is the most rewarding part working with the cheerleaders? What's your favorite thing?
I think coming into this, I thought that I was going to go to cheer practice, and then I was going to go to some ball games for free, and that was going to be it. But really, and you guys say it all the time, that this group is a family, and we really are. And so I think the most rewarding part is being that person that they call if they are having trouble, not just in school, but in life. There's times I get texted at 2 in the morning saying, I need someone to talk to. I need to go to Steak and Shake and have a milkshake and talk. And being that person that because that means they trust me with their problems. Right. So that's probably the most rewarding thing.
I agree. Okay, last question, but certainly not least. What is your favorite memory working with Amy Elmore?
Oh my goodness. Me and Amy, she used to be my boss. She's not anymore, unfortunately. I think my favorite memory with Amy is we would have some long nights sitting in the office talking, that we would probably be there till about 8 o'clock talking about things, just things that I like our conversations, and I do miss those. So
right, okay.
She's funny.
I can't say that me and Daniel have ever stayed in that office very long and talked like that.
No, I love Amy. She's I'm so blessed to have her in my life. So I really am thankful for her.
That's good. That's really good.
Thank
Sarita,
you.
Thank you for being on the show. Whenever we come back to the show, head coach Daniel Potts will be discussing our upcoming invitational. You're watching WKCTC Basketball Weekly.
Welcome back to WKCTC Basketball Weekly. I know this is a little reverse of what we usually do, but I wanted to ask Coach here a couple of questions about the season, about the year, and how he got started about wanting to be a basketball coach. First question, Coach. What have you mostly enjoyed about coaching these young men and seeing them mature and being their go-to guy when they need somebody to talk to and things like that?
I really like. I've enjoyed just the competitive nature of most of the kids, because whenever I came here, I remember the first day I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. I mean, y'all were out there doing chair drills or something, and I didn't know what was going on. Like I say, just the competitive nature. I really like. I've really enjoyed, even though he's a thorn in my side a lot of times. I've really enjoyed Chris Jackson a lot.
Yeah,
I really have, and I know a lot of times that, like I say, he's been that guy who it's really hard to get through sometimes. You really don't know how to get him going. But I think the reason why it's been it's almost a blessing that I've had the opportunity to be with Chris, because a lot of kids are like that. Mm-hmm. A lot of kids are like Chris, and I think Chris reminds me a lot of myself whenever I used to play and things like that. So I think that'd be my answer.
Okay. I know, before when you graduated high school, you went into the military.
Yeah.
And from your military background and things like that, how has that helped you relate to our players and just in general to the community and everything like that? Because I see you all the time talking to teachers, and they enjoy talking to you as well. Yeah. So how has that that military background influenced you to be a great be a great coach and a great person?
I think there's, as far as basketball goes, I think there's something to be said of chain of command. I appreciate the fact of chain of command, and being in the military, I understand that. And I've told these guys all the time, some of the guys that, especially our first semester, DJ Scruggs, whenever Dwayne Morrow, Chris, some of the more, I would say, type A personality type players. Sure. Getting them to understand that, it don't matter, there comes a point, it kind of don't matter how good, how much me and that individual get along. There's something to be, like I say, there's something to be said of chain of command. At the end of the day, Daniel Potts is my boss, and they had to understand that. I think that's one of the things that kids, and that's with anything. That's when, you go out and get a job. You have a boss. It don't matter if your buddy is with the guy right above you. If you upset the guy that's in charge, it's probably not going to be a good day at work. And I think that's very important and I think that's a good teaching tool for kids to understand. And I think I've preached that pretty well this year.
I know when at a really young age, when I was young and growing up, I've always had a passion for basketball and things like that. My father was a basketball coach. And I remember doing multiple drills around the driveway outside at home and seeing him teach me. I know at an early age, probably around my freshman year in high school, I wanted to be a coach. I had a passion and drive. I knew God wasn't going to bless me with too much height, so I decided to go into basketball and in depth and really love it. What age was it for you that you knew that you wanted to be a basketball coach?
I can't say it started that early for me, because back then I still had dreams that I was going to be 6'7".
Right. You didn't have those short problems I did.
Well, I mean, I didn't have, I wasn't blessed with D1 height for my position, to put it that way. So, I'd say, Coach, I didn't, I really didn't take it serious and really want to do it until I was probably 23, 24 years old. Yeah. And I say that because, a lot of the things that, like I say, we did overseas and, on some of my deployments, just leading a group of people, and not just Americans, Iraqi police and things like that, being involved in leadership on an international level. I kind of had a knack for it, I felt like, and, I enjoyed it. And like I say, I've always liked basketball. Like I say, back then, you talked about whenever you wanted to be a coach freshman in high school, I was still thinking I was going to be an NBA and be 6'8". Sure. I honestly believe that. And the one thing that was always constant was just the love for the game of basketball. Whenever I was, I realized like there come a time where I got tired of being deployed. You get tired of being overseas, and you want to be at home with your family. And that's about the point I made the decision. Like, I knew, like I say, the one thing that's always been constant is just the love for the game of basketball. Well, the only way I can be involved in basketball for the rest of my life, I'm gonna have to coach. Can't play anymore,
Right.
So, that's whenever I made the decision. I was blessed with knowing Gary McLean, and he actually introduced me to you.
Sure.
So,
sure did.
and you gave me the opportunity to be able to come here and do what I love to do.
I'd like to say something about Gary McLean. He takes our book stats every game. Hasn't missed a home game, and gosh, I don't know how long. And I tell him thank you all the time, but he don't get enough for it.
Not at all.
And I appreciate him so much. Introduced me to you and our relationship that we've had and things like that. But our next question here, you've kind of already hit on it a little bit, but what has basketball taught you? What has basketball actually taught you? I know for some people it's different.
Yeah.
And I don't, you look at it the same way I do, more about life situations and things like that you can teach to kids. But what has basketball taught Josh Kimbler?
I think it's hard work, dedication. I'm a big Floyd Mayweather fan. Everybody knows that. Jacob Scott still gives me a hard time about it because I don't even think he knows who Floyd Mayweather is still. But just, like I say, hard work, dedication, belief, the importance of of being able, not necessarily using as in taking advantage of, but using others to get to your goals. And like I say, on the basketball court, defensively is a perfect example. There's not too much you can do. No matter how good you're playing, that guy behind you has to be given the same amount of effort at all times. And when everything works out perfect together, then you're going to be tough to beat. And like I say, just the importance of using others to get to where you're at, and that's just not, like I say, it's not on the basketball court. That's, it's in life. That's in your spirituality. That's at your occupation, whatever that from working at Lowe's to, being a coach. Trying to move up the ladder as far as me and you go. Trying to get to where we want to go. And also, I say it all the time. I've said it in practice. I said it whenever I first got here. What was it, in May? Whenever we started our individual self-improvement. Just being able to take something from anybody. Hopefully they've taken a lot from us. I hope that the things that they remember that they've been able to take from us have nothing to do with, the basketball things.
Right.
Hopefully they take more of, things that we say in the locker room after the game or just whenever they're here at school or whatever. But, we can also learn things from them as well.
I agree.
And that may be the most important thing, and before any of the basketball stuff comes, just taking things from everybody. I even told them, I don't know if it's famous, but I'd like to think it's a famous quote I say, if anything I say is famous. But, I tell them all the time, you can learn something from anybody. And, it don't matter if it's the most ignorant, most annoying person in the room. From that person, you may be able to learn the hardest thing there is to learn, and that's patience.
Right.
So.
Right, I totally agree. Like you were talking about Chris Jackson.
Yeah.
I've learned so much from Chris Jackson the last 2 years. He's challenging.
Yeah.
And he challenges you in every single way.
Yeah, I love him for it. I really do.
Yeah, and he's made me a better coach, a better person. Yeah. And last question I'm going to ask you, Coach. I know I've had a lot of memories this year. As far as this year, we've beaten Dyersburg State. We've gotten so close to so many of these so-called junior college teams and haven't quite got the job done, but we've been very, very close. Mm-hmm. We have only not been leading in the second half in 2 games, and that was Shawnee at home, and that was at Mineral Area at Three Rivers. But every game, every other 20 out of 23 games, 21 games, we have at least led in the second half by 1 or more. Yep. That says something about our team, and we don't get the highly touted recruits. No. We're working towards that way. Yeah. But right now, we don't get the highly touted recruits or anything like that. We just coach for the love of it. Yeah. And that was a memory that I had when we went down there and beat Dyersburg State. The odds are we're probably going to lose by 25 or so, and odds are when we go up against these junior college teams, we're going to lose by 20 or more. Yeah. And I remember the memories. I remember the hard work and practices, and even in the games. And I remember Cody and Jacob and even Marcus and Chris. Sometimes when they get defeated, they're bawling afterwards. Because they care so much about wanting to try to win it for even us. Yeah. But what are some memories that you may have taken away from this year and this season?
I honestly, and I think you feel the same way about this too. Whenever it comes game time, it's like. Yeah, it's fun, but I don't have near as good a time in games as I do whenever we're practicing. Even the biggest thing I've enjoyed was the off-season workouts. Yeah. Because you really get to get in there, you really get to go hard and really, really push these kids. Because they always say it sounds so cliche, but everybody always says you make practices really, really tough so that whenever the game comes, it's easy. Mm-hmm. Well, that's true. Right. That's a very true statement, and I think we've done a good job of doing that. Like I say, just the individual workouts, seeing these kids come from being, like we talked about earlier in the show, being just the satisfaction of being able to work with Marcus and seeing him go from being that kid from Carlisle County who nobody knew about till everybody, no matter who we played this year, we got head coaches showing him the campus. Right. Couldn't wait to get that kid to come for a campus visit, trying to get them to play for me, and that's just so gratifying to me. And I just have an opportunity to be able to say, I had the chance to work with Marcus Burnett. Mm-hmm. That's because, and that's not taking anything against Cody or Jacob, but you were the guard guy. I'm more of the post player kind of guy. So like I say, I like the fact that being able to work with kids like that and seeing them succeed, and that's just very gratifying.
Coach, you've done an outstanding job this year for me as an assistant coach. I couldn't have a better one.
I appreciate it.
And I truly mean that. A lot of things people don't know. You drive the bus for free. Mm-hmm. Everything you do is for free for us as a volunteer. And guys, he's here. We practice sometimes 1 to sometimes 4 hours a day, and you're right there with me. We go through film, we talk about them, we do everything together, and he's doing this for the love of the game and for our kids and for our program. And Coach, I can't can't thank you enough.
Hey,
for
we're
that,
going to
buddy.
get there one day, though. We're going to get paid a lot of money one day for it.
I hope so. I hope so.
Couldn't imagine.
But I honestly want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of my kids' hearts for putting the time and effort that you do. For the last segment, I'll be wrapping up the show, and when we come back, I'll be talking about our WKCTC Invitational. You're watching WKCTC Basketball Weekly.
Welcome back to the show. At this time, we're going to have our final thought segment from head coach Daniel Potts. Coach, we got an invitational coming up.
Yeah, we got an invitational coming up, and we've been getting together with PR and trying to make this a big event. We'll have door prizes at the door, so get here early for that. We're also Saturday night at 7 o'clock during our game. We're going to play Earl Clemens at 7 o'clock. During our game at halftime, we're going to recognize the 1969 National Junior College Championship team. And we're going to have players that was actually on that team here. Rick Ragland, Lanny Jones, L.H. Tyler, and actually Sonny Hall's daughter and even son's going to be here for it. So it's going to be a big event and a nice event that we need to recognize them. That happened in 1969. And
Much needed.
Very much needed. Very, very much overdue as well. And hanging a banner up for them and things like that. So it's going to be a nice little piece, and everybody should come out and enjoy it and everything like that. We're also going to have a radio remote. We're going to interview some of the players. We're going to interview us, and that'll be starting around 3 o'clock that day as well. And we're going to have an all-tournament team, and we'll have first and second place trophies and things like that. So we're going to try to make it a big event and things like that. And that will be February 15th and 16th. That's on a Saturday and a Sunday. And hope to see you all there. Thanks for watching the show today. See you all next week.